Hello, I'm Sophronia Scott, Director of the Alma College MFA in Creative Writing for the 21st Century, and welcome to Faculty Friday. This is your chance to get to know some of the amazing faculty that we have on staff at the MFA program, and today I am joined by Leslie Contreras Schwartz. She is joining us from Houston, Texas, and Leslie is actually the Poet Laureate of Houston. She is also the author of 3 poetry collections, Black Dove / Paloma Negra, Fuego, and Night Bloom en Cenote, which is a semi-finalist for the 2017 Tupelo Press Dorset Prize, which was judged by Ilya Kaminsky. Her work, including essays and short stories, has appeared in Pleiades, the Missouri Review, Pank, Iowa Review, and in the forthcoming anthology, Chicanx, 21 Mexican-American Writers of the 21st Century. She was born in Houston, Texas, and with Mexican-American and Mexican roots going back several generations in Houston and Texas. She has taught at the University of Houston and Rice University and teaches community workshops, and she is a speaker on the topics of mental health and poetry. Thank you for joining us today, Leslie.
Thank you for having me, Sophronia.
So today I want to ask you about what earning your MFA has meant for you, because so many of the students considering our program are going through a pretty big decision-making process, because it's a big decision to earn an MFA, and there are so many voices out there talking about how it may or may not be worth the time, the effort, or the money. And yet I know personally that it changed my life as a writer to earn my MFA. So I'm wondering, what was it like for you and what it meant for you?
It did absolutely change my life. When I was looking towards applying to MFA programs, I was searching for something. Well, first I was already writing, was reading as a writer, but I wanted a space, a community where I could connect with other creative writers, but also be directed and mentored to study literature that would be helpful to me in my own creative practice. That is very difficult to do on your own. It's also very difficult to find a community that is so engaged as they are in the MFA programs, in conversations around craft, around, the issues that are central to what we do as artists. What are we writing for? How can we write to the contemporary moment? All of those more academic discussions, but also being able to share our experience and to be able to have our stories or our poems or our nonfiction workshopped by people who have been trained, who are writers themselves, practicing writers, and to meet peers who are struggling with the same journey that you're going through.
Yes. Leslie, you mentioned reading. Can you say more about that? Because I felt the same way. I wasn't reading as much before I got my MFA, and being in an MFA program just opened up my reading world, writers I'd never heard of before, but also seeing technique and craft on the page by talented people inspired me to go to new levels in terms of my writing. So what was reading like for you in the MFA?
So I definitely, during my MFA program, I learned to read in a writer's sort of way, if that makes sense, but studying the techniques that the writer was actually using, but also one writer exposed to me through my MFA would lead to 100 others. And I often was very particular to my areas of concern in my own writing. So I'm constantly learning. So it's like you say, I did read before the MFA program. But because of the constraints of the MFA program, you have to, in my program, you had to read a certain amount of text. It just opened up more avenues to me, to different kinds of knowledge, to different kinds of writing styles that I'm not sure if I would have been able to find that on my own. Maybe if I spent decades in the library eventually, but it helped with mentor guidance.
So how are you different now because you have this community, because you have a different type of reading life? How is your writing life different now since your MFA?
I definitely have grown and flourished from the support of a writing community, not just here in Texas, but around the country because of my MFA program. My peers, my teachers were from all over the country, and they are practicing writers, and I still am connected with them. And as far as the knowledge I gained, it's a rigorous form of study. So most MFA programs are. There's a lot of annotating, there's a lot of analyzing, writing about different themes and aspects of writing. So I gained the knowledge, and then I was able to apply it after I graduated. Mm-hmm. And it helped me create and sustain a writing practice because I had all these tools at hand. I had a community, I had that support that I could reach out to get feedback, to just get support in the journey, because it is difficult. It's a long process. Yeah. And that's necessary. It's vital to have a community. And then to be able to use all the tools that I gained during my MFA program.
Yeah, and you're producing books, right? So
yes.
You're doing it.
Yeah, I'm currently working on a 4th poetry manuscript, a short story collection, and a novel, but I can't tell you when that will be done, but it's all in progress.
But that's exciting. And I'm glad that we have you on our faculty to bring that excitement and that knowledge and wisdom to our program. So thank you for joining us today, Leslie. And thank you to our viewers for being here with us today. I'm Sophronia Scott. She's Leslie Contreras Schwartz, and we are with the Alma College MFA in Creative Writing for the 21st Century. To learn more about the program, you can check out our website, alma.edu/MFA, and I will see you on another Friday. Take care.